Bubble Bobble Revolution, also known as Damn Why the Fuck Was That Released, is a cutesy 2D platformer for the Nintendo DS because what else are you gonna release on the DS? Released in 2005 by Taito in Japan and Rising Star Games in Europe, it was later ported to North America in 2006 by Codemasters. While the series is known for its arcade roots, does this game do enough to deserve a spot in the prestigious library of the DS? Find out by literally not doing anything and let the video continue playing. You play as Bub and Bob, two dinosaurs that I always thought were crappily rendered dragons, and these two creatures blow more bubbles than an underwater Houdini escape gone wrong. As you can see from the footage on screen, showing both screens of the DS leaves a significant amount of black screen, and so for your benefit I'll add something around it. If you didn't immediately search the premise of the Bubble Bobble series before watching, sink deeper into your seat and I will tell you. If you are standing up and watching the video, stop watching. I won't have degenerates viewing my work. With the incredible power of hacking up spit bubbles large enough to encase something, the gameplay, very obviously from my previous description, revolves around firing these bubbles at enemies and jumping on them to pop them as they float to the top of the level. After defeat, enemies drop food for the dinosaurs to snack on before they slaughter the rest of their friends. Varying types of bubbles are found through the levels, such as fire, lightning and ice ones, which sends out a burst around the area to fry, zap or freeze the nearby enemies. So, what's the revolution this game brings to the series, you may ask yourself? Adding pointless DS interactive elements to gameplay and being the first in the series to have a negative enough reception to earn a place on Wikipedia's worst games list. The poor coverage of the game mostly stemmed from the North American version of the game having a game-breaking bug that prevented further progression. So smart thinking me got superb looking, smooth with the ladies and smart thinking me got the PAL version instead because I want to experience the whole thing. I did not want to play 1/3 of the game and have the rest of my judgment on it from walkthroughs I watched later because that's not something I've ever done before. Nope, not me. The playable dinosaurs look like they're bored of blowing bubbles, and hey, I wouldn't blame them if I was one-trick ponied my whole life. They might want to pursue a life in poetry. New additions to the formula include expansive levels that cover 2 screens and require copious amounts of scrolling to get around, with most enemies being off-screen to sneakily hurt you. New bubble types are present, such as the ghost bubble, which creates a copy of the current dinosaur that switches positions when popped, and the charge bubble that can trap up to 4 enemies at once. I was going to make a joke about an average looking woman trapping men into paying child support, but it wouldn't work. Kinda like the women trapping these men with child support. You can also use the charge bubble against the wall to propel yourself into enemies with such force that you body slam them off the screen and into the previous game. There are fans that can be activated by blowing into the DS microphone, but no one would bring themselves to look that stupid, even if they were in the confines of their own home. The fans are fairly pointless as you can just jump on produced bubbles to reach high areas you can't reach, and this method accomplishes what the fans can do without making you look like an idiot. Every 10th level, a boss rears its ugly head at Bub or Bob, only for it to be killed by having multiple bubbles blown at it. There are unlockable characters that I didn't get because the game felt that it needed to make a simple game more contrived than most of my comparison jokes. You see, instead of playing the last 10 levels as soon as you reach them, you need to complete a few tasks first. With the charged bubble, you need to capture 4 enemies and pop it to collect the key that drops out of it. Then, all the while with the same life, you need to defeat the boss of that area for it to drop a letter. After doing this for all the bosses so far, the last 10 levels are unlocked, and let me tell you, even getting 4 enemies trapped in a bubble is a pain in the ass. The cover of the game is another thing, I'll tell you, because for a game series known for their cute characters and vibrant sprites, these beasts on the front look more like soul-sucking balloon monsters for a kid's horror show. The original arcade game is also bundled inside the DS cartridge. This was only included to wring every last thing out from consumers' pockets, including pieces of lint that may have had some value due to how much they rub against coins, because nostalgia is the crack no one wants to admit they have a problem with. When playing the classic mode, the top screen of the DS isn't even used and instead just displays the game's title, perhaps to keep the name in our head so we recommend it to our friends. This then creates a problem that wasn't present in the arcade version, as the one DS screen cannot fit the whole level onto it, so scrolling occurs even within the original. This wouldn't be an issue if the top screen was used, so why waste so much space with pointless text? Noted. Unlike Revolutions 3, you only get 1 life because the arcades love to take your money more than... Okay, think of an easy to make fun of target that won't get you any negative repercussions when you say their name. These arcades love to take your money more than EA or Electronic Arts, or dare I say, the fiery devil spawn of the game's industry. Get it? Because saying EA likes money has never been done before. No mum, I will not stop yelling. Other than the controls being a bit clunky, there's nothing much else to complain about with this. The music is fairly decent for what it is, and really at the end of the day, if the level 30 non-spawning boss glitch wasn't present in the North American version, this would have faded into obscurity worse than it already has. It's a passable title that heavily rides on the coattails of its predecessors, adding just enough to the formula to trick people into thinking it was a justifiable release. And it's not like that hasn't been done in more memorable properties. I'll allow you permission to view the updated list just this once. Don't think this privilege will come anytime soon. You'll be hearing this lovely voice again when one of my videos pops up in your notifications. Fuck, that will be such a dated reference as soon as I stop uploading.